Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Bullet Motorsports. Right next to me we have a beautiful 1987 Buick Grand National. This is a race car that is Florida titled, so you can drive it to your local car show or show some people on the road what you can do. It produces 1,200 horsepower at 28 pounds and it's capable of much, much more. We're going to go over the full build in the description below. If you want to see underside shots, click on that. We're going to send this most likely to auction to sell, so we will update you with the link. This is a one repaint car, full interior, badass ride that we purchased from George out of British Columbia. He was the one that built it. RPE Performance Engines is who actually put the block together, so it's a TA Stage 2 motor, and I'm going to show you that now. Before we do the walk around, I'm going to give you a little breakdown of how this car was acquired. We do a lot of business with Ron Bailey out of North Carolina, and I always see him posting his race car, and we were going back and forth. And he goes, hey, John, there is a gentleman named George out of British Columbia that has a perfect spec Stage 2 drag car, and you should buy it. And George and I became really good friends throughout the process. We imported it from there, and then we had it Florida titled. This is a no expense spared build. George did an amazing job on it. So hopefully someone sees this, they find that this is turnkey, you could never build it. This is close to $250,000 to $300,000 to build, and it runs perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take it for a spin so you can see that the temperatures are good. I'm going to get it to maybe 3 pounds of boost just to showcase it. I'll do a small launch with it, but that's really it. I don't want to damage the car. The transmission has 10 passes on it, and you're going to see all of the detailed information for the build in the link below. Let's start off with the front end. I'd rate this paint easily. It's a 9 out of 10. Shows extremely well. GTO covers. You've got your big intercooler right here, and let's get to the most important part here. So it's a 260 cubic inch motor. So that's basically a 4.3 liter. It's a GN Stage 2 motor, so it's all aluminum. Precision 88 millimeter turbo. It runs on 16 volts for better ignition. You can take a look at all the brackets throughout. 5.5 inch intake, 4.5 inch downpipe. Full suspension setup to go straight, but you can actually drive this. I drove this with no issues, and you're going to see that in the video shortly. You do have this is an accumulator, so that when you store it or when you start it, cold start, you can release oil into the actual oil pump, so you never have a dry start. Fiberglass front hood that's in great shape. Front grille still has the retaining springs. You have a hook here in case you want to pull it after running it. Front end is all custom, and you do have that intake that's been made for it too. The build on this motor, what I was told by George, RPE Engines has only built 3 like this ever. As you pull into the engine bay, take a look at the downpipe. You've got every single port for the exhaust is being monitored, so you can see if your temperatures are going too high. We sent this over to Cal Heartline to get it tuned, and I think he tuned it to 974 at 19 pounds. And then we had to get spark plugs because he didn't have any spark plugs in stock. But at 28 pounds, you're going to make 1,200 horsepower. And George told me that this motor is capable of going to 40 to 45 pounds with no issue at all. Transmission's built to 1,400 horsepower. It's a Reed TH400, so you could start it off in either first or second gear depending on track conditions. And I mean, this is just top tier, awesome, full interior drag racing. You have an upgraded radiator. Let's go to the interior and the sides. So take a look at both sides. Body lines are extremely straight. There's no chipping. There's no nothing. 40 spline axles in the rear. The list goes on. It's going to be really hard for me to go over every single item. And just the engine itself is in my hands, and that's 6 pages of documentation just for the motor, and that doesn't include the turbo or anything like that. When we go down the driver's side, you're going to see that the paint is very reflective. It's extremely nice. You do have your aerospace brakes front and rear, ET fronts in the front. When you open up the door, you actually still have power windows as well. So all the power windows are going to work. full door cards with just deletes for the speakers. You do have the netting. I believe the cage is certed for 950s, but you're going to bring this to track days that are private so you can run much faster. It has CO2 shift engagement, and it shifts at 6,800 when you set that up. All of your controls are up top, so you have a speed wire set up for ignition, starting, basically your water pump, your cooling system as well. The rear seats are still in place and they look brand new. Carpet's in excellent condition. You have your trans brake here, and this will also operate your reverse. So you click that when you're in reverse and it'll go backwards. Your boost gauge, your RPM switch is right there, and it's run by a fast XFI 2.0, and it's tuned perfectly, runs great. Runs on E85, so we use E85R basically here. Rear quarters are in great shape, and look at the roof line. Roof line is very, very nice. Rubber is very clean as well. You have a set of ET Streets back there. I would use these for testing and then put a new set on there. They're still soft and sticky, and we use them for the road, but with no issues at all. Rear trunk is very nice, and it is a metal trunk. When you open it up, you're gonna see how nice everything is. You still have your trim tag here, but that doesn't really matter. It is a Grand National. So you have a 5-gallon fuel cell, and when you store it, you can use 93 because of the ethanol. You don't want to leave ethanol in the system. A big Welland fuel pump, and then you have your voltage meter here. So this is basically a 16-volt battery, and the alternator will charge it to 18 when you're running it, and obviously that's how it charges, is higher voltage. You have your kill switch here, and then I'm going to include the charger, which is a 16-volt charger, a car cover, and then George made this amazing apron for when you're working under the engine. So say you want to do a spark plug change, you're not going to scratch that beautiful paint. It has a parachute, just in case. Passenger side quarter is extremely clean too. I'll break down all of the axle components in the description. You have a trans cooler, so the switch is in the trunk still, so you have to remember that if you're going to run it down the track a couple passes. Passenger side door is extremely nice, and then the roll cage is certed for 850s. I apologize, not 950s, 850s. You have your CO2 there for the shift points. So what that does is you're going to turn on your AMS system, and then that's going to basically set it to shift on its own. Parachute release, full interior, and then the best part are all the fuses here. So if you look in there, this was engineered perfectly. You have all the fuses for everything you'd ever know. Everything's labeled, and the wiring is top tier. Cable for tuning it, and then I forgot to show you the wiring for the remaining of the system. So you've got all the breakers right there. It's beautiful. Let's take it out for a spin, let you guys decide if this is what you want to put in your driveway. I'll start it up right now so you can hear it, and then I'm back to work. So to start it, ignition, fuel, which you'll hear the fuel pump run. And you just crank it. I'm going to put the water pump on. It sounds unbelievable. No smoke, no hesitation. And this is the best smell ever, corn. Thanks again, please subscribe, let's go for a ride. All right, we're gonna take it down Marina Mile to our back road. Just drive it normally. Got great oil pressure right now. Water temperature is 154. Battery voltage is right. It's around, when you're running it gets to 18, so it's charging the system because it's a 16-volt system. Roll cage is certed for, I think, 850s. Have to double check the pictures. Drivability is like a regular Grand National, but it doesn't have power steering because it has a different steering box. So you could start it in either first or second at the track based on the track conditions. We haven't even touched boost. I really don't want to do it without prepping the tires. I'll give you a little bit of a taste of it when we get on the road, just rolling into it, not racing it. Here's a little bit. That's so partial, it's not even funny. So when you have the AMS on, it'll actually shift at 6,800 RPMs, and you can adjust the RPM switch right here. There's a toggle. We're just bringing it to get you guys some really nice artistic shots. I want you guys to see that you can actually drive it, and it's actually a performer. Here's some bumps. No scrubbing of any type. Oh yeah, baby. So we'll turn here. And then we'll get to the artistic shot zone. Turning it around. Oh yeah, baby. And I'll even do the scramble for you so you can hear it once we get over here. Temperature 169. We've been cruising for quite some time. So you have line lock, or I'm sorry, trans brake is going to be right here, and then you got your button here for reverse. So when you put it in reverse, you're going to hold this, and it's going to bring you back. Just put it in park. And then you can push the scramble button. Oh yes. I love it. Oh yeah. Let me shut it off so we can get these pictures. Hope you guys enjoyed that little drive. When I was doing those passes, I'm not even going into maybe 3 pounds of boost. I don't want to hurt it. I don't want to hurt anybody on the main street because this is definitely a rocket ship. We did do the trans brake to launch it, and that was at 0 boost. So you can imagine what it would do if it had a ton of boost going through it. I believe it's tuned for 28 pounds, and that's going to be 1,200 horsepower. I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and I wish we could have brought it to Bradenton Raceway, but unfortunately things get in the way. So you guys enjoy, have a great day, be safe.